Here is a way to grow your AI product fast and go broke at the same time. Lose a little money on every single use and then get a lot of uses. That sounds insane, but that's literally the default of AI products. You see, AI products have a cost system that traditional softwares never had. So let me show you the meter that is quietly running under your product. Hi, I'm Satyam Shivare and I'm a founder who have shipped 8 plus products in the past 10 years. And during this time, I had many learnings and many failures also. And I've compressed all those learnings in a book called AI for Founders. So you can get the book for free completely from my description. And whatever we are going to discuss in this video is also just a little part from that book. By the end of this video, you will understand why AI costs differ so greatly from the traditional software costs. And you will also learn the 5 ways to keep it from eating you alive. This is the difference between an AI product that scales into profit and the one that scales into a whole. Point number 1. Old software got cheaper per user, but the AI charges you per use. What happened is that in the traditional software system, you will just get a server, you will just get a few resources, and that's it. After that, you can actually get to the thousands of customers and you will not have to increase anything. Basically, your cost is fixed. So as you acquire more customers, the cost of acquiring and keeping more customers on your platform is basically nothing. Or at the very least, it is insanely low because the same server, the same resources are used for every one of them. But for AI, it is completely different. When you integrate AI in your products and your users start using it, you need to understand that users will always call a model. You see, AI is just a model. So each time a user uses your model, well, that model will actually have a cost. So each time a user uses your AI product, it will actually incur a cost on you that you will have to bear, which is very different from the traditional software. In the traditional software, once you have the customer on your system and you're using the same servers, etc., the customer can use the system as much as he wants and it will not really cost you any more money because the same resources, the same server are used. But for a model, the AI model, each call to a model, well, it will charge you. It will actually give you a cost, a bill that you will have to pay. For the traditional software, the servers cost the same, no matter whether you have one user or 10,000 users. For AI, if one user is actually calling a request, it will charge you something. If 10,000 users are calling a request, it will charge you based on the 10,000 users, not the one user. Basically, at this point, you're not selling something that you build once and then you just keep selling. You are actually reselling something that you have to rebuy again and again. And this is the whole mental shift from the traditional software cost model to this new AI based cost model. And companies like Copilot are also actually embracing it. They have introduced this pay as you go model or basically token based charge model because they were not able to provide things for free in the same way that traditional software was providing it. And remember that this company is very big. It is actually from Microsoft, and Microsoft makes a lot of money. And even they are actually saying that, hey man, we have to charge people based on the tokens because we cannot actually handle the cost that AI is actually giving us. As an example, imagine that we have a product which is actually used for communication between suppliers and buyers for tickets. Okay, if a supplier have an issue or a buyer have an issue, then they can create tickets against each other. So all this functionality is actually happening on your server, on your system, right? And it will not really cost you much. So the user can create as many tickets as they want. The user can actually click on as many buttons as they want, and it will not really cost you all that much. But if you add an Ask AI button in your system, you just put an AI button in your system, and now each time the user will click on that button, the call will go to a server from OpenAI or from some cloud server, and they will actually charge you a bill. So each time the button is clicked, you will be getting a bill from one of these AI providers that you will have to pay. It is definitely different from your traditional software system. Earlier, this kind of feature was a pure profit feature, but now, since it is costing you on each request, the more popular this feature becomes, the more you will have to pay to the AI providers. The key takeaway is that with AI, you don't pay once, you pay per use forever. Point number 2, the cost line climbs with usage. It does not flatten. In the earlier traditional software systems, since the cost of acquiring new customer was actually literally zero or almost insignificant, the more customers you have, the more profits you are making. The margins were insanely good, like almost pure profits. But with AI, that model is actually going to crumble and fall apart because AI charges you per use. And since that is the case, the more users you have on your platform, the more charges you will have to pay to the AI providers. What it means is that you will have to keep paying more and more and more because you have more and more and more users. So the margins are now shrinking the margins are like 30-40% now, which is very drastic compared to the traditional software system where the margins were like 90%, 80%. Like that was a crazy system. In AI system, the cost of keeping a system running keeps on increasing as more users come on your platform. What this means is that in the example where we were adding AI button into our support system, well, the more users will click on the AI button, the more you will have to pay to make sure that the system keeps running. So the users will keep using it. And if you have not accounted for the pricing, or if you have not added any kind of guardrails or checks to limit the number of times users can use this feature, you will be racking up a bill that you might not be able to pay. Like that is a very serious situation. At this point, the growth and popularity that you once dreamed for your product is exactly the thing that is going to kill it because the financials does not support it. The key takeaway is that in AI, more usage means more cost. So plan for it. Whatever free tier you are uploading or you are providing to your customers, plan for how much they can use it. Plan for how much bill you are willing to pay for these free users all the time. Because in traditional software systems, a free user was also pretty much free. But here, the free users are also going to cost you a lot of money. Point number three, free users can cost you real money every day. In traditional software system, providing your system for free was a growth tactic. The more people can actually use it, the more users will actually be on the platform. And the more user will be on the platform, the more valuable the platform can become for other users also. So providing things for free was actually a growth tactic. And it is still a growth tactic in today's world also, but you need to be very careful about it because free users in earlier systems were actually free. Why? Because the cost of acquiring new customers was not really that high. So each customer was pretty much free if they were on the free tier. But here, if you are actually providing an AI feature to the free customers, what do you think will happen? They will start using it, and for the AI features, you will have to pay. So if you're providing a free tier that actually allows users to use the AI features, you need to know that for each free user, you will have to pay a bill, which can easily rack up to a 5-figure bill easily each month. So basically, your free users are actually costing you a lot of money without actually paying anything to you. The AI feature that you were providing as a generosity to your users has now become a bonfire at scale for your product. Let us take the same support system software as an example. You provided the AI button for free so that you can actually attract customers. And a few users found out about it and they just kept hammering the AI button all day long from day and night. And so while these users are free, they are actually racking up a huge bill for you. So if you have not placed any kind of guardrails or any checks on the quotas that users can actually use this AI for free, then you will go out of business simply because your bill was very high. You ran out of money, not because your product was bad. The key takeaway is the free AI isn't free for you. You cap it or it caps you. Point number four, the model choices can swing your cost 10 times for the same task. For example, we actually use the vehicles to go from one point to another point. If I want to go to my supermarket, well, I can use a bike, a car, or I can also use a jet plane, a jet engine plane. Yes, I can use that, right? That's the thing with models. Using a top tier model for a task is like using a jet engine to go from home to your supermarket. Completely unnecessary and insanely expensive. And so you need to find a model that is perfectly suited for the task, which will actually save you money and time also. For example, in my earlier days, I was actually creating subtitles for the videos with the help of Whisper model. Now Whisper have like multiple models. It have tiny, base, medium, and large. I was using large model to actually create subtitles. While I could actually use the medium model also. So the large model was actually costing me both time and money to generate the subtitles. When I started using medium model, I was getting pretty much the same quality in the subtitles, but the time it took to create subtitles and the money it costed me was reduced a lot. And so if you're feeling that in your product the cost of AI is too much, I think it is important that you start looking at different models, looking at different open source models also to see which one will actually be best for your task, for the budget that you have, and for the constraints that you have. You can literally reduce your cost by a factor of 10 simply by switching the model. So I believe it is worthwhile to invest your time into researching which models are going to be best fit for your use case. The key takeaway is match the model to the job. Don't try to fly private jet to buy milk. Point number 5, price the outcome or cap the usage or you will lose money. Since the cost also scales with the usage, you can no longer offer fixed subscription prices because you never know which user will actually use a lot of AI and simply rack up a crazy amount of bill. So all you eat buffet is over. There are two fixes that we have. First of all, you charge based on the outcome that the user is receiving. If the value of the outcome that the user is receiving is like $10,000, then don't charge $100 for it. Okay, charge at least 2,000, 3,000. Charge based on the value that the user is getting. The second option is that you will have to cap the usage for the users. You can set different usage quotas for your different AI features so that the users will not actually abuse your platform. For example, suppose that your product provides photographs which are specifically compliance ready and very good quality for the marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart, Gumroad, or Limeroad, or any other marketplace. And you know that to get the photo shoot of those products, it will take like $10,000 for a particular client. You charge based on the value that you're saving to the user. You charge 2,000, 3,000, or something like that. On the other hand, if you want to make things fair on your platform, you can also put a cap on this feature. You can say that a user can only create 300 images per day or per month. That is a quota that you will have to decide on based on your constraints and the way users are using your platform and the money that you're charging for those AI features. And now every use is covered by revenue. The meter is still running in the background for AI, but it is the customer who is feeding the meter, not you. The key takeaway is that if your usage has a cost, your pricing must have a cap on it. Here is a quick recap of all the 5 points that we discussed in this video. First of all, the older software got cheaper per user. The cost of acquiring new customers was pretty much zero, but the AI charges you for every use that you make on it. The second point, your cost line climbs with usage. The more you use AI, the more cost you will have to bear. It never flattens like it used to in traditional software. The third one, your free users can actually cost you a lot of money if you don't put any kind of limits or caps or quotas on them. So make sure that you plan for it. Fourth one, the model that you choose for the task will decide the cost of the task by 10 times. It can increase or decrease the cost. So make sure that you're actually spending enough time to choose a model that is actually going to be well suited for the task. The fifth one, price the outcome or cap the usage. Otherwise, you will keep losing money forever. Now, if all that was useful, go ahead and subscribe. And in the next video, we are going to tackle a question that every founder have. Am I behind on AI? We are going to get a clear, decisive answer on it. Of course, if you want to get all of the answers very quickly, like right now, go ahead and get my book, AI for Founders, from the description. It is completely for free. And also tell me in the comment section that have you ever checked the cost of AI in your products? And with that, we will meet in the next video. Till then, Satyam Shivare, signing off.